Welcome back. Another episode, another show, if you will, of the Spinato Spin. Just a brief interlude, kind of like that show, Pardon the Interruption. Well, pardon my interruption here, just trying to shed some positive information your way week to week. Now, the Spinato Spin this week, we're going to kind of outline two things, okay? I got one finger on this side, another on that one, and that equals two. All right. The bottom line is there's two main things that are on my mind tonight, and I hope that I can put them on your mind a little bit when we separate company here. Number one, years ago, I was involved in a business that was absolutely amazing for the simple concept of it. The idea was to not allow people to be burdened down with the negativity on traditional television or traditional radio, whatever it was. The concept was, let's bathe people, and bathe, theoretically, just the metaphor, in positive information. This was a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week network, a show, if you will, that ran continually on a special network only about positive things. Only about how you can get better as an individual. Only about encouraging people. So I basically have had that training. I've been involved in that for a number of years, probably about from 1994, I want to say, to about 1996 for a couple of years. I watched the programming, and one of my jobs was to involve people and get people to buy into the program. Get the network, set themselves up, develop people that want to be somebody special, want to do something special. The idea was phenomenal. I still think it has a lot to do with goes on today. The negativism we see, the amount of people, the down look on a lot of people's faces, the challenges people have to feel good about themselves. I think a lot of that, I hate to say it, folks, is what they're listening to every day. See, there's a running commentary that goes through our minds every day, and it tells us who we are, how we should feel, what we should be doing. And the marketing machines to be, and the radio and the TV, whatever you surround yourself in, is constantly trying to drum into your head what they want you to do. Think about it. Most of the time, you find yourself when you're daydreaming or when you're thinking about something, you're hearing over and over stuff that you should be getting, buying, why you need it, and how fast you should be getting it. That is the message you hear over and over because people pay to advertise. They pay to get into your subconscious. They pay to stay on your conscious. A lot of things that we grew up with when we were younger, it was the same thing. The information bombardment was all about other people's way of persuading us. That network that I was a part of was something incredible, something that really should have had its time come, but it never did. Big Brother or Big whoever who's out there just said, no, that's not going to work. We're not going to do it that way. We don't make enough money doing it that way, and we don't want people thinking positive. That doesn't make us money. Negativity sells. Don't you understand you're being sold a bill of goods out there? You're being sold on who you are every day, what you're supposed to look like. There's three driving forces that drive all of us. I'm going to ask you a question after I tell you what they are. Which one are you? The first driving force is basically to look good. You want to look good, right? You want to make sure people think you're either good looking or you look right. You look the part, okay? The other thing is you want to feel good. How do you feel good? I don't know. You have a beer, you have something that makes you feel good, okay? Your body, you want the right mattress, you want this, you want the right pillow, whatever it is, right? You got to feel good. Well, the other thing is you want to do good. Well, which one are you? Do you want to do good? Do good by people? Have something in your soul that makes you feel good about what you're doing? Which one are you? Are you a feeler? Are you a looker or are you a doer? Do you want to do good? Do you want to be remembered as time goes by as a person that really made a difference in their lives? You know, when you pass through and you pass by and they put up the tombstone, what are they going to say about you when they bury you in the ground? That's what we're all about. We're all about trying to find that edge. We're all about trying to get better. We all want to get better. The frustration lies in our inability to do that. Well, the other topic I wanted to talk about tonight was something that really, and we touched on it on our show, The Take, which this is just a small segment of, when our teacher friend Amy was in, I said, why don't they teach kids how to compliment one another? Why isn't that like a set requirement to learning how to get along with people? Why is it so strange? Well, you know what it is? I'll tell you one thing real simple. Why people don't compliment one another. They don't feel good about each other. If you don't feel good about yourself, how can you dare compliment somebody else? That means you're telling yourself that you're not that as good as that person you're complimenting. See, that's what the character is. That's what the mindset is of a lot of people. See, it takes a lot of courage to compliment somebody. It takes a lot of effort to come up with things to say to people, especially if you're not feeling that good yourself. And I'll tell you a quick story. One day I was working in a business and the people were told that their business is going to be shut down because there's certain things that they could prove that they did wrong and the business will be shut down. But I'll tell you what, you'd never know it when you were talking to that person that day. I found out a day or two later that when I was having a conversation, that person that was uplifting, motivated, excited, the wolves were at the door. They were ready to shut his business down. But you'd never know it. Why? Because that person made a conscious effort to make other people feel good, to make other people understand what they're involved in is something special. Well, the question now is, how do you compliment people? How do you help people feel good? Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to improve the dialogue that's going through your mind. You got to understand you're a special, powerful person that can do amazing things. The world hasn't seen anywhere near the capability you've shown so far. You could do so much more. Last week I spoke about self-improvement. Self-improvement's great. Constant, never-ending improvement, kanai, like Tony Robbins talked about, like the Japanese adopted, all the ways in which you can get better and better every day. Well, how do you compliment people? Well, here's a simple concept of complimenting somebody. And I've heard this, again, I got to point back to Tony Robbins, only because he seemed to spend a lot of time studying this and analyzing the mentality of it. First thing is you give somebody a compliment. Let's look at a nice compliment here. Way to go, good job, well done, you're the man, thumbs up, you rock. Great. You know what's great about that? That's a start. The most important thing is, and the reason why I say you did a good job. Now think about this, folks. Someone said, good job. Well, what the heck do you know? What do you know about what I did? How can you just say good job, right? That's what's going through the back of a lot of people's minds when you say good job. Now, what you say is the reason why I say good job is, and you come up with reasons why that person was able to do a good job. What was about them? What is the trait within them? What is the thing about you did a good job because you showed a lot of enthusiasm while you were doing it, and you helped a lot of other people to persevere and keep going forward. Man, I love that. That was the way to do it. I really wanted to make sure you understood that. And I really appreciate it. Fair enough? Do you understand where I'm coming from with that? Person says, yeah. Then they know, hook, line, and sinker, that you really thought about what you wanted to tell them, and you really have lifted that person up. If they feel in their heart that that's what they meant to pour out. That's what they meant to do. The other one is, let's go back to the other one if we could. If we can. Does the machine do that? One more back. Here we go. One more back. Way to go. Good job. Well done. You're the man. Well, you're the man means that that's the guy we were counting on. You know, the reason why I say you're the man is without you, we never would have been able to do this. You were so special in getting this done. I can't thank you enough. We really appreciate it. I don't know what else to say. I really appreciate what you were able to do. See, that's a compliment. That's a thank you. That just lets somebody know how much you really care about how they feel at that point in time. Make people feel good. That was the other part of it too. We'll jump to that real quick. Just what I scribbled up there. Make people feel good. Everyone's got a flashing sign on their shirt, on their jersey, on their blouse, whatever it is, and it says, say something good about me. Tell me something good about me. People, you never know what state of mind, how they feel that day. You don't know how they feel. So you tell them something good about themselves, and it might just turn them around for that morning. It might just turn around for that day. It might just turn around for that week. We never know what kind of impact we can have on people just by saying something special. Give you a quick story, and I'll probably wrap it up right here. A couple of years ago, I got an opportunity to talk in front of people, and I started talking about compliments, and I gave an example. There was one gentleman in the front row when I was talking, and I said, I think a lot about, one thing I noticed about you, and I mentioned his name, and I said, one thing I notice about you is that you are a very, very hardworking individual. You always come to work with I said, the reason why I say that is you always come to work with the right attitude, and you always seem to be eager and ready to dig in and do your part. I appreciate that about you. And 3 weeks later, that individual came up to me and said, boy, I want to thank you for what you said about me in front of the group. And 3 weeks, my mind had passed. I didn't even remember exactly what it was that I had said. Do you know that he gave me back word for word what I said? See, you never know, folks. You never know what kind of impact you can have on people. You don't know. You just got to let it out there, folks. You got to do the best you can to be the best you can and try to help other people be the best you can. Help them feel good. Remember, I asked that question in the beginning. I said, are you a feeler? Are you a looker? Or are you a doer? And the doer basically is you want to do good. Let's do good this week. Let's do something special. And we'll catch up with you next week. And let me know how many compliments you doled out. Have a great week, folks.